Hi friends, how are you today? Welcome back to In Deep Knit podcast. This is episode 3. If you're new here, my name is Samantha, and this is a podcast about nothing filmed in Nowhere, Iowa. And I usually talk about knitting and the yarn I've dyed, the shit that happens to me, and I'm probably going to swear. So if you are interested in yarn, and if you like yarn and you're interested in whatever's living rent-free in my brain this week, you can hit the subscribe button or the like button, and that will help me out. All right, so let's get into it. I want to get a couple good barks on camera. Okay, go get him. Okay, so in the first video, I talked about how I was really quiet because I didn't want Pablo to bark, and so, because I was afraid he would bark. Pablo is the tiny chihuahua that belongs to my son that lives above the yarn shop. And so then I sent out an email telling everybody for my second video that I got a mic. And then, because everybody was like, oh, you're so soft-spoken. I'm not. It's just because there's a little tiny dictator that lives upstairs that marches around like he owns the whole damn town, and you better not drive by his window or shut your car door too loud or talk or breathe at all. And then some people asked if they could see Pablo. So my son's home today, and hi, buddy. Hi. And he's bringing Pablo down so that everybody can see the evil dictator that lives upstairs. Hi, buddy. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay. Hold on. Look. Oh. This is Pablo. Let me come back here. And he likes us. He's really nice. But if a stranger comes in here, he is all about telling you right where to go. Right, honey? Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh. And he never stops moving. And this is Hunter. Can you get him on camera? See, now look, he just perches there like. And he's so soft. And we all love him, but he doesn't like anybody else. Okay, Pablo, the yarn shop boss. Thank you, honey. So in episode 1, when I was all kind of I'd had a really hard week. I remember that day, it was cold and miserable and freezing out and like snowy, and I had told you guys about this bubble that people were like sitting there. Somebody was sitting in a bubble, and when I drove by down here by the coffee shop between the coffee shop and the bar, and I was like wondering who was in there and what they were selling, because there was condensation. I couldn't see who was in there. I couldn't tell if they were selling something. Couldn't see anything in there because, they were breathing. And I was kind of hoping that they were selling like cookies or something. And I didn't stop to see. I just came and I, went to work and whatever. But today, my daughter and I are here. My daughter's here right now. So if you hear noise, it's just her being awesome. So today, Gracie wanted to go to the coffee shop before. You can be on camera, honey. Gracie wanted to go to the coffee shop before we came here, and the bubble was back. And I was like, oh my God, the bubble. So I asked Gracie if she'd be willing to film me. Because Gracie's like, I think they're selling cookies, like Girl Scout cookies. So I went up to the bubble to see, and I didn't recognize the people because I don't know, my head's up my ass, but it's actually my husband's cousin. So like my family, Heather and her daughter Maeve, and they're in there selling cookies. So I asked her permission if I could video, and I bought some cookies. I got 2 boxes of Thin Mint. Anyway, so it was cookies in the bubble, and I bought like 4 boxes. So I will insert that video clip here. Here.
You didn't dress warm enough.
I know, and I'm so excited that there's cookies in here. You have no idea. Hey, Grace, what do you want?
Can we do?
You have to video the bubble. Like, the people need to see the bubble. Like, stand back. They're not going to let me see. I think, Josie
And we
likes
have more in the
those.
car. It's just we sold a little bit this morning. We just hate unpacking it all the
I
time.
don't blame you.
Can we do that?
You like these?
Yeah.
Alright. And then we can't not get thin mints. Are you kidding
Thin
me?
mints are also.
We actually need 2 of those because...
That's fine.
Okay.
So that would be 24, and we do cash or check or card.
I'm just going to throw money at you.
Okay. Throw money at me.
No, I don't feel like changing.
Okay.
So no change.
Well, thank you. We'll keep the extra $1 because we give it to the firefighters with the extra change that we get.
On. Okay, listen, you need to bring your little crochet cuties in to show me in person sometime.
Okay.
It's good to see you guys. Oh, wait, cookies.
You get it.
I almost left without the goods. I feel like I'm making some shady back alley deal. Let me zip you back up.
Well, thank you.
Bye, you guys. Good luck.
Yep. Have a good day.
Okay, so anywho, what's next? This week, every year I dye, okay, not every year. For several years, I used to dye this color every March called Who Pooped in Your Pot of Gold, because I thought it was funny, you know, like who pooped in your pot of gold for St. Patrick's Day. And I would do a different version of it every year, and I haven't done a version in a while, so I don't know which version this is, but Thursday morning I started dyeing Who Pooped in Your Pot of Gold for 2026, and my mom calls me up and she's like, are you at home or are you at the shop? And I'm like, well, I'm always at the fucking shop because I dye yarn here. And she's like, well, can I come down? So she lives an hour away, and I have no concept of time. So I'm really hard to be friends with because I don't check my messages at a routine basis. Time passes for me in a very weird way. I'm really, really busy. I work all the time. And so I think I saw my mom a week ago. But the reality is I saw my mom 5 weeks ago. So she wanted to come down, and the sad thing is that if she wants to see me, she has to come here, basically. But anyway, so she's like, well, can I come down? And I'm like, well, you have the mom card. It doesn't matter what I'm doing, where I'm at. You can absolutely come. And she's like, well, I don't know if you're busy. And I'm like, well, I'm always busy, but you just come here, and you'll talk to me while I'm dyeing yarn. Sometimes that happens, and I've even roped her into dyeing yarn before. But usually if that happens, I fuck something up. And usually before moving everything into the yarn shop / dye studio, I dyed out of my kitchen for years. It started in a yarn shop, then I moved everything to my house, and I did everything from my house, and now I have a yarn shop again, so now I've moved everything back to the yarn shop. But anyway, Mom would come, and so I'm in my house, so I have a coffee pot on. And so she would come and have coffee and talk to me while I worked. So I told Mom on the phone, I'm like, you have the mom card, you can come whenever you want, no matter what I'm doing, just show up, I don't care. And I said, but I don't have coffee here, which is insane for me to not have a coffee pot here, but I didn't have a coffee pot. So I told her no coffee, and she said, okay, that's fine. So a couple hours later, she shows up, and she's brought me a coffee pot, and she also brought me coffee pods. So she brought, what was funny about it was, instead of going to Walmart, she lives in a big town that has a Walmart and a Target and all this stuff, but instead of doing that, because she didn't want to drive from her house all the way to Walmart, which is like across town. And I live in nowhere, Iowa, so we have to drive anywhere to get anywhere. So to me, driving across town is like no big deal. But she didn't want to do that. So she's like, I stopped at every Ace Hardware on the way here to try and find you this coffee pot, which is just asinine because had she just went to Walmart, she could have got the coffee and the coffee pot and whatever and been done with it. But she stopped at like 3 hardware stores and finally found a coffee pot between Mason City and in Ackley, which is fucking hilarious. I'm like, well, you stopped in Mason City, Sheffield, and then Hampton, or like, anyway, so we get the coffee pot, and I took a picture of it, so I will insert that here, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting pretty confident in my editing skills. I actually don't know if I can insert any of this shit, but I'm gonna try. So we get our coffee going, and I'm dyeing the Who Pooped in Your Pot of Gold color, and we talk about whatever, and we laugh a lot, but usually it's just some bullshit. So she starts telling me about how she's taking this new medication, and I don't remember what the medication is called, and I also don't remember what it's for, but she's telling me that, like, now she didn't use these words, but I'm going to use these words so that because in my mind, this is how I'm translating what she's saying. Basically, this new medication that she's on has caused her to have, like, the ghost shits. What are the ghost shits? Okay, so, like, how was she trying to tell me? Like, she would, like, go to bed and then wake up with, like, shit in her pants, kind of. Like, you don't feel that you're shitting. And it's not like a huge amount of shit. It's not like, you know, she shit the whole bed or whatever. But it's, I mean, still, it doesn't take much. And so I was like, oh, Jesus, that's terrible, right? Like, that's horrible. And she's like, I didn't, you know, expect this. And she goes, now I'm going to have to start wearing, like, diapers. And I'm just like, oh, that's awful, Mom. And we're talking about this. And I feel bad for her, but we're laughing, of course, because it's either laugh or cry. And we move past that, and it was so bizarre how this shit happens to me. But anyway, I did the Who Pooped in Your Pot of Gold color, which I had already was in the middle of when she showed up. And this one, it's on that Stellina color, and I'm going to bump this table. And so anyway, it's got the sparkles, the opal kissed. And as she's telling me this, I am moving on and dyeing the floof version, which has the Stellina as well, alpaca silk, and the opal-y Stellina. And I kind of fuck it up, like it kind of gets away from me because she's here. We're talking about her shit in her pants, basically. So it did kind of get away from me a little bit. But it's Who Pooped in Your Pot of Gold, and it's on the website right now for pre-order. But what happens after that is horrible, and I'm going to tell you about it. And also, my mother knows. I told her, I'm like, she knows that I'm telling you the story, and she doesn't give a shit because she's like, I don't give a fuck. I don't know these people. And I'm like, okay, great. Anyway, so I work long days sometimes, and she, I don't know, stays till about 3:30, and she takes off, and I'm still dyeing yarn. And around, it was after 6, I've been here for hours, it was after 6, and my husband calls. And he's like, well, when are you going to be home? And by this time, I'm exhausted. My back is killing me. Because dyeing yarn isn't, like, easy. It's manual labor that, you know, and I've been doing it for years. It takes a toll on your body. But, so, my left leg doesn't work quite, and plus I'm fucking old, but my left leg doesn't work quite right. And my back usually is screaming by the time I'm done, and you know, I don't start at like noon. I get up in the morning and I start right away. But anyway, so he calls me and he's like, well, what do you want to eat? Or he said, when are you going to be home? And when he called, I thought I would be home in around, I told him, I said, well, I have at least 40 minutes left of steam time, because I was steaming yarn, and I knew that I had at least 40 minutes there, and then plus tack on, you know, getting it out of this anyway. So I knew I was going to be a while yet, and it was already after 6, and he goes, well, I'm going to go ahead and eat then. And I'm starving because I hadn't eaten. And we had gotten pizza the night before, and I was like, well, what are you going to have? Are you just going to do like leftover pizza? And he goes, well, no, I was going to have leftover ribs. And I'm just like, but I said, okay, fine. And I was kind of mopey about it. But then I got off the phone with him, and after I wash the yarn, after it steams and cools, I wash it to, you know, I don't like to send out things that are going to bleed or whatever. And I know it happens anyway, no matter what you do. Sometimes it happens. But so I wash everything before it goes out of here. And I have a spinner that you lay the wet yarn in. I wring it out first, but I lay it in there. And you turn it on. It sits down here, and you turn it on and it spins the shit out of the yarn and gets all the excess water out. And then like a bucket or a tray or something catches the water, and then you pick the water up and you dump it out and blah, 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 blah. So when I get in my head or I'm really busy and I'm doing a lot of things, it's just me here. So I do everything. I always think to myself, now don't kick that water bucket, right? And earlier, after Mom left, I had already kicked the water bucket once. And when you kick the water bucket, it's not like mine are real shallow, because in order to get them underneath the spout, they have to be shallow under this big. So when you kick them, it makes a huge mess, and water goes everywhere, all over the shoe. So I had already done that right after getting off the phone with him. So remember that. But I'm taking yarn out of the spinner, and I don't know how it happened, and I don't know if like whatever Mom has is contagious or whatever, but I'm bending over to get the yarn out, and I have like the ghost shit, like I just shit my pants. Like I don't know, I know Gracie's in here listening. Gracie has not heard this story. But it was like one of those things, and it's not like I shit my pants, like I have shit running everywhere. It was just like, and it's not like I farted. It was bizarre. I stand up and all of a sudden, and it's like, did that really happen? And I've got yarn in this hand and yarn in this hand, and there's like nothing I can do. So I like toss the yarn over the chair and I run to the bathroom, because I don't know what's going to happen. Like, I don't know what's coming, or if it was just like a, hey, how you doing, little ghost shit, or like surprise, like, I don't know, surprise shits go. But here's what's weird. I didn't feel it happening. I just felt it like afterwards. It was so fucked up. And even though it wasn't like this, even though it wasn't, you know, like I just shit the bed, like a ton of shit, it doesn't matter. It was like, it doesn't matter, because even if it's just a tiny little bit, that has now ruined like everything. I know, I'm going to regret this. Maybe I'll edit this out. I got to tell somebody. It's still like a mess, right? So it hadn't like gone through anything, but my underwear were done. So I'm in the bathroom trying to figure out how to peel off my pants and my shoes without like touching my little blob of ghost shit. So I get that done, and I decide the underwear is now in the trash. Nobody has to know. I'm never going to tell anybody about this. And then I'm like going commando in my jeans, and I hate that. I hate the feeling of not having an undergarment on when you're wearing like anything. Like, I'm old now, and so your shit should just be like bandaged up and not. Anyway, so I have to finish out the day or the night, because now it's like 7 o'clock at night. And I can't wrap my brain around the fact that I have just shit myself, basically. Like, what? But I wanted to tell my mom. And while this had happened, like, it's not like I was upset about it. I was just like surprised and like grossed out. And I thought, oh, I'm going to call my mom, and I'm not going to tell anybody else. I'm not going to tell my husband or my kids. And now I'm telling everybody. My daughter's looking at me like, what the fuck? But I thought, well, I'm going to call mom and I'm going to tell her, because it'll make her feel better. Like, oh, you're not alone, mom. I caught your ghost shits that, you have. They're contagious or whatever. It's spreading around. So, and I was tired and exhausted and hungry, but I wasn't cranky until I come out of the bathroom and I get my phone. I pick my phone up, and of course I got to multitask. I don't just make a phone call, or I have to be doing something because I want to get the fuck out of here. So I pick up the phone, I dial my mom, and as I'm waiting for her to pick up, I had put it on speakerphone, set it down, and I was going to move this way to finish getting yarn out of the spinner so that I could hang up the yarn. Then I hang it to dry in the basement downstairs. And I kicked that fucking water tub again for the second time. And that immediately just made me really whiny and fucking cranky. So I have no underwear on. My underwear is in the trash, and I'm calling mom to tell her what happened. I got the ghost shits, mom, and then that immediately turns to mom answering, and I'm bent over trying to mop up. I don't know who is texting me all that, but it's making me mad. I'm trying to wipe up all this water. She's on the phone, and then I just start like whining to her about it. And I tell her I just shit my pants. My husband doesn't even offer to bring me supper. I'm trying to mop up all this water. By now it's like 8 o'clock at night, and I'm fucking exhausted. And then I finished the day. It was after 8 when I got home, and I told no one. And everybody's like, how's your day? And I'm like, oh, it's fine. And I eat and I go to bed, and nobody has to know, right? Except for my mom, who I told. And now all of you, unless I edit this out. So anyway, how fitting was it that the day that I decided to die, who pooped in your pot of gold, I shit my pants? Pretty fitting, right? Pretty hilarious. Or I don't know, maybe it's not funny. Maybe you'll never click okay, who pooped in your pot of gold? I'll tell you who, my husband, because he didn't offer to bring me any ribs. Okay, moving on. The next thing. Why did I tell this story? Because I have 0 fucks left. They're just gone. Some days they're really gone, and other days I still have a few. But this week they're just gone, and I don't know if you guys have seen. I think I first saw it on a sticker. And it's like these 2 women, and they're sitting down, and I don't know if they're having tea or what the fuck they're doing, but it looks like they got some old school garb on, or maybe they're playing cards. They're probably playing cards, you daffy twat. Maybe they're playing cards. And the one lady says, have you any fucks? And the other lady says, no, girl, not even one, go fish. And I've been meaning to buy the stickers that I've seen for that and have them on my website, but I thought, why don't I just dye a yarn? So the following day, Friday, yesterday, I did just that. I dyed have you any fucks? No, girl, not even one, go fish. And here's what it looks like on the glittery base. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And the reason that my hands look huge when I am on camera. It's like I'm this normal sized person that has giant hands. I'm going to put a picture of, what are they doing? They are playing cards. I'll try and insert a picture of it. But anyway, I hand painted it like this because this little blob of color here are my fucks that I had, past tense fucks. They're gone now. They've possibly exploded, and that's what this little section represents. And I did like this weird charcoaly, kind of purpley, it just depends on how you look at it. There's like little blobs of purple undertones maybe through some of it. And I also dyed it on the non-sparkly, but the charcoaly bits is like kind of like, you ever open up a drawer that has like nothing in it but like a one dusty old fucking paper clip? I don't know. That's the vibe that I'm trying to give. And here it is on Not Sparkle. So anyway, on the website, I think I just put, I just called it Go Fish, but on the picture of the photo, you can see, so you can get it on the Sparkle sock, serotonin sock, and then there's also endorphin DK. So yeah, have you any fox? No, girl. Not even one. Go fish. What else? What else can I tell you about? Maybe I should have not led with my ghost shit story, because now I feel like the podcast is done. That was the highlight of my week, was shitting my pants at work and not telling anyone. Except now I'm telling everyone. Okay. So what I started out dyeing this week, because it's, you know, springtime and St. Patty's Day is coming up, and who pooped in your pot of gold? I dyed some springy St. Patty's Day shit. So this one is called Suspiciously Lucky. You all know people like that. Like they're all, like my mom is one of those people. Sometimes she goes to the casino and wins like $3,000. But more than once, I don't know. So we have Suspiciously Lucky, which is this lovely, vibrant, greeny color, dark, and I don't know. It is pretty and I love it. That's on my website. And then earlier this week, when I just happened to be on Facebook, which I'm not very often, the woman that owns the yarn shop, that would be me, that owns the coffee shop, posted on her Facebook a shamrock shake, and she did it's really cute. I don't know what's in it because I don't like them, so I didn't read it. I just saw her picture, and she, you know, it was a picture of her holding it or whatever. And it's this greeny color, but then she put whipped cream on the top and a rainbow sour belt, so it looked like, so fucking cute how she did it. And I'm like, oh, I want a cute shamrock shake color. But instead of calling it shamrock shake, wah wah, I'm calling it shamrock shenanigans. And it was inspired by Cherish Life's coffee shop shake color, the shamrock shake. Oh, that was a mouthful. I almost didn't get it out. No, it's shamrock. There is a grasshopper, but the new one that she posted is shamrock. It was on the board when we went in there this morning. Anyway, so these are also on the website on fingering and DK weight, not sparkle though. Then, because I don't know why, because sometimes I feel like I'm just in La La Land, I dyed a color called La La Land. Where is the skein? Which I don't have it skeined up. So when you knit with it, it's going to be like this you know, lavender sky, pinky blue. Shows up kind of weird on camera. And then you'll have these little blurbs of white, which could be like kind of like clouds. And then I dyed La La Floof to go with it. So those are on the website in the pre-order section. And then I dyed all of the pre-orders. They're all done. They just need to finish drying, be skeined, and then be tagged, and then be shipped out. Except for Bruised Ego, Temper Tantrum, and How the Fuck Do You Sleep at Night, which were colors that I showed in last week's email and last week's podcast. And the reason, and they're still open, you can still buy them, because I forgot to advertise them and post them on Facebook. So I need to do that before I dye those up and close those. But everything else is dyed. And on Wednesday, my son Wyatt is coming to help tag everything and do the shipping. So everything should ship Wednesday, except for the 3 colors that I just told you. Bruised Ego, Temper Tantrum, and How the Fuck Do You Sleep at Night. And speaking of Bruised Ego, for years people have been asking me for a crochet version of the Planned Pulling Ass hat. So with Bruised Ego, which is this color, which is an assigned pooling color, so it's mostly one color, and then it has a blurb of different colors. So with that, I did a crochet version of the Planned Pulling Ass hat with an assigned pooling color. And then I did a crochet version with a traditional ass way. This is Sunset Over My Ass, I think. So this is what it would look like if you made it with an ass, a planned pooling color. And this is what it would look like if you used an assigned pooling color. But here's what I found interesting. When I knit this, if I were to take Bruised Ego and knit this hat, it would be all this purple color and only one strip of the other color of this section here. But because I crocheted it, and crochet uses up, like, I always say it's twice as much yarn. I don't know if it is or not, but it does use up more yarn than knitting. And because of that, there are 2 color sections. And so I did this one first, and I'm like, okay, so if I use an assway, which has 4 color sections, that means my crochet ass hat is going to have 8 color sections. And it does. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that just blows my mind, because if you knit, my friend Linda used this color and she knit an ass hat with it, and there are 4. It doesn't blow my mind, but it's just like, wow. So here's the knit Planned Pooling Ass hat with this color, Sunset Over My Ass. And it has 4 color sections, 2 gray and 2 of the orangey pink. And this one has 8. Like, holy shit. So it's not going to be exactly the same effect, but for the crocheters, I will be publishing this pattern. And I was pretty close to publishing it until I posted it on social media asking if there is interest, because I'm not going to go through the work and do a video and then answer everybody's questions constantly like I do the ass hat if there's no interest in it. And people are like, yeah, do it. But then somebody said, and make it in other weights. And it's like, shit, because this is DK weight. And I really didn't want to have to do that or experiment with it. However, I'm a fucking people pleaser, I guess. So I needed yarn to do a fingering weight version of the plan pooling ass hat in crochet, and so I dyed an ass for the crocheters, and this one is called Hook Happy Ass. And let's see what it looks like. And it has 4 color sections, just like an assway does. 2 white and speckly, and then 2 of these colory sections in the middle. And here's what it looks like on the skein. I didn't skein this one up very good, but usually they're half and half when I skein them up so that people can tell, even if I don't call it an ass, but I usually do. People can tell that it's going to work for the plan pulling ass hat. And also this one's a little bit unique compared to the ones that I normally do. Anyway, and I've started crocheting a fucking doily. Okay, no, not really. This is the start of the plan pooling ass hat, and you can see that I've now got my colors to start pulling. So this is the very top of the hat. Like if it was knit, it's this part. I guess I have a crochet one. So there will be 8 color sections, but my doily is the top of the hat. And while I was crocheting it last night, because I started it last night, my daughter Josie came in and gave me a hug, and I used Furl's crochet hooks, and I had a resin one or whatever, and it knocked onto the floor and busted, and I could just cry because you can't, if you're familiar with Furl's, they come out with these crochet hooks and then you spend too much money on them. But if you drop them on hardwood or something, they're gonna break, and we have hardwood in the house, and of course it fucking broke. And even if my husband is successful at super gluing it back together, it'll snag. So wah wah. And so I immediately go to look to see if I can still get it, and of course I can't because I've had it for a while. I don't make it anymore, but whatever. Okay, anyway, so Hook Happy Ass for the crocheters, and then I couldn't leave the knitters out. So this one's called Purl, P-U-R-L, Purl Clutching Ass. And here's what it looks like. Open, and I thought, ooh. So I will probably knit an ass hat with this, crochet an ass hat with the other one, ass hat, ass hat, ass hat. And both of these are also available for pre-order on my website. I will link all of the shit below in the description box. I will link it. But now, this is, I'm gonna make noise. It's ASMR knitting. This is the progress. I've been showing you progress on my sweaters that I started when I did the mood boosting yarn. So this is emotional support yarn on the opal kissed sock, held double with warm hugs on the floof. And if you guys don't have one of these things, oh my god, I love it so much. If you're holding double, this is a Likey Pendle, and I do sell them on my website. You can order them. I think I give people a discount because, like, if you want one and you add it to cart, I just order it for you and I give you a little price break. But anyway, this is the No Frills Sweater by Petite Knit that I didn't really follow directions on. And if you want to know more, there's a link. And in person, it just sparkles. But on camera, it's like in person, all these yarns with the sparkle, they're all like disco and shit. They're all like disco. But in person, but on camera, they're always just a fucking disappointment. But anyway, So there's my progress on that. I have separated the sleeves from the body. I've got my yarns on my pendle. I love it. I take it everywhere. I seriously love this thing. I have two, actually. I might bedazzle this one. But I carry it around from my house to the shop. I sit on my couch with it, my table, my bed. I'll put it on my nightstand while I'm in bed and knit, and it's just pulling off of my nightstand. Okay, next I was also working on the No Frills sweater with I'm a Little Feral, which is from my first video and last week's video, which I have shut off because I just got done dyeing them. But as I keep knitting this, I will put the yarn back up in case you guys really like it and you want some and didn't get in on any of it. And this is part of this crap that's going to ship Wednesday. But I have separated the sleeves from the body in this one too, and look at how awesome it looks. Also on the sparkly shit, which you can see, I love what it's doing. I'm in love with it. So I will probably keep knitting No Frills Cardigan by Petite Knit as well. And then from the first video and the last video, I don't know if you remember that I had designed this colorwork sleeve and I was sort of obsessing over it. Well, the obsession has not stopped, and it's just kind of taken a turn for the worse. In the last video, I spent too much time talking about the past and unraveling the whole damn thing while we were on film. So then I'm like, well, I'm going to start something else and put knitter like somewhere else on the sweater. And I did. And then my idea was to put knitter across the back, which I successfully did here. I've got, you can't see it because I'm not that far into it, but I set it all up. You know, I'm drafting the pattern as I go so that if anybody else wants to make it, they can. And then I'm like, well, knitter's too small. And then I changed colors because I'm playing around with color because I decided I don't like this orange color. I do, but not in here. And there's it's backwards, I guess, but you can't really see it, but I've got the top part of each letter. And I've decided, number one, I don't like my color choices. And number two, knitter needs to be bigger. So I'm keeping this here, right? But I started a new one where I'm reworking the charts. This is the shit that happens to me when I get obsessed with something. The main color is the same, and that's some shady shit dyed on the yak, and I don't know if you can still get that or not, but I just dyed a whole shit ton of it for the pre-orders that will ship Wednesday. But I've changed my secondary color, and I've also changed the chart for the knitter, and then I think I'll add the flowers back onto the bottom. But I'm pairing it with Plucky Knitter's Primo DK, and I love this color combo now better. Not the one that I was using before. So it's that's some shady shit color, which is kind of a hot mess. So if you do buy it and you're waiting on it, some of it's dark, some of it's lighter, some of it's got more greens and blues, and some of it has more purples and pinks. It's all over the place. So if you're using it in a multiple skein project, alternate your skeins. So after I get done with this color work bit, I will definitely be alternating skeins because it's a dumpster fire hot mess. So anyway, that's where I'm at with this. It's taken a whole new turn. Wish me fucking luck. I'm using the color Sash with my yak merino shit, silk stuff. That's some shady shit. And then this is Primo DK from the Plucky Knitter, which I have behind me on the wall. Yeah, so that's it. Bubble mystery solved. You guys met the evil dictator Pablo, who lives upstairs. I gotta work that in because we did that on a separate video. I shit my pants story. I showed off the new yarns, and I gave you a progress report on my works in progress. I think that's everything. So, with that, I will link everything that I've blabbed about in the description box below. Like and subscribe because it helps my dumb ass out. I hope you have a great rest of the week or weekend. Make good choices, and we're not killing anyone today. No murder. We'll just knit instead. Bye.